Hello and welcome back to Switch and Lever. Welcome to my new corner of the world, my new hobby space in the process of getting operational. Those of you who watched my videos for some time know that I'm an avid user of Arduino boards in many of my projects. I've made everything from a YouTube subscription counter to game pads to even a talking head. That's why I'm super excited about this new board which Arduino just released, the Arduino Giga. So let's take a brief moment and look closer at what this board can do, and in the next video I'll go through building a project with the Giga. So stick around because this board is a literal beast. Alright, so we have a new Arduino board. Those get released more or less all the time. What makes this one so special? While it is true that Arduino has released over 100 hardware products over the years, the Arduino Giga brings a lot of processing power, a lot of memory, a lot of connectivity and other functionality to the ecosystem. The box itself is basically what you've come to expect by now. Clean design, and you get those ubiquitous stickers that accompany every Arduino board. The Giga itself should be directly recognizable by most. While it's not an Uno, it shares the footprint of the Arduino Mega and Duo boards. Those with a keen eye can probably spot quite a few differences that doesn't quite match up with previous Arduino boards though. But rather than going through every minute difference to other boards, and there are quite a few, I will focus on the things which excite me the most about the Arduino Giga. Let's start with what's basically the same. You get a bunch of digital and analog pins. That's nothing surprising, though the amount of pins makes me very excited. No more juggling trying to fit everything I do onto the allotted few pins. Who am I kidding? I'm sure I'll find a use for all of these pins as well. You actually get a whopping 75 digital pins and 12 analog pins. Though, depending if you use them for communication or not, all may not be accessible at all times. Of course, if you're using many pins at once, it's a decent chance that your sketches also have ballooned in size, perhaps even hitting the memory cap. The Arduino Giga has 2 MB of internal flash storage for sketches and 16 MB of external storage, which can be used as a general storage to store sensor data for instance, or even to work as a flash drive so you can store other files to be used by the Giga. As we've touched on the microcontroller, let's continue there. The Giga runs on a STM32 microcontroller. It's a dual-core chip, which means it's capable of running different things on each core in parallel. For instance, running MicroPython on one and Arduino code on the other, and having them communicate between each other. Continuing on the board, there is one pin which actually makes me unreasonably happy, the off pin. Now, don't get me wrong, you've always been able to turn off an Arduino by just cutting power, but the ease of just connecting a switch to off and seamlessly turning on and off the board is a great feature. Along those lines, if you need to keep time, the Giga also has a built-in real-time clock, which means that you can keep time very accurately over long periods of time. With the VRTC pin, you can also essentially power down your Arduino while providing external battery power just for the RTC, and having it run despite the rest of the board being dormant, which is of course great for low power implementations. The microcontroller also contains a 2D graphics accelerator, which allows for the creation of touchscreen interfaces with resolutions up to 1024 by 768 pixels. This definitely means I have to get myself some screens. But let's eject from the microcontroller and continue on with the board. You may notice that there is a 3.5mm audio jack, and if you know me, audio and Arduino is something I've been experimenting with for some time. The audio jack works both as an input for microphones as well as an output with 2 DAC channels. While nothing truly revolutionary, the DAC as well as the two DAC pins can be configured beyond the default bit depth of 8 bits, up to 12 bits, meaning much higher fidelity of the audio output. Next to the audio jack we find two USB jacks. While the smaller USB-C jack is used for power, programming and communication, the bigger USB-A jack is a host-only port, meaning that you can connect USB peripherals to it, such as a USB keyboard and other HID peripherals. Needless to say, together with a screen, this could be a very handy combo. Now there are two glaring things which I still haven't touched upon. There are two big connectors in the middle of the board. The left connector is a 20-pin camera connector compatible with breakout boards from Arducam. The connector on the right sports DSI pins, allowing the connection to the aforementioned screens. What's really cool about these two connectors though is that while you can use them for cameras and screens, you can also use them to further build shields which stack both on top and below the Giga. With enough pass-throughs, you can essentially build a large sandwich of boards with the Giga as the meat in the middle. These things are what excites me the most, and that you're bound to see it in a project in the near future. Of course, there are more features of the Giga, mainly around communication and debugging, but you'll have to dig into the product information yourself to explore those. If you want to check out the Arduino Giga closer and maybe even get one or a dozen yourself, head on over to the arduino.cc webpage to check it out. That is all for this time around, but be sure to check out part 2 when it drops if you want to see more of the Arduino Giga. Thank you for watching, and as usual, until next time!